Hello again, folks. I see our old friends are out there.
Hey, everybody! Hey!
Hey, guys.
Hey guys.
This is be on your best behavior.
Okay.
They make me nervous every time they do this. So, I hope everyone's been doing well. Welcome back to welcome back for all of you, and find out what we've been doing. This gentleman here is
I'm Mark.
And I'm Elmer, and we are
Marc and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigations. So what did you guys think of our Halloween episode?
Yeah, I wonder if anybody saw that.
Fun? Did you
Oh
like
yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
I can still taste it.
Yeah.
So
She made the biscuits and we had it on biscuits.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I thought it would be quite a dish. So, anyways, so what do we have here? I tried to come in prepared today. This time. I'm sorry.
Speak up.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right. If you like our show, you enjoy our company, please like, comment, and subscribe. We can reach as many fans as possible. And before we start, let's see. What do we have here? Birthdays. If you are born today, November the 14th.
14th. Okay.
The 14th. You share the birthday with Johann Nepomuk Hummel.
Ooh, Mozart's piano student.
Yeah. It was?
He studied with Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like that, Steve Nutt played his A major concerto or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
That's Hummel. Yeah, he studied with Mozart.
Yeah, he did. He also studied with Clementi.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Smart boy.
Yeah. So, he was born on this day in 1778, German pianist and composer. I guess he had a piano duel with Beethoven as well.
Beethoven won.
Yeah, no doubt. He wouldn't have it any other way, would he? Yeah. Okay, also born today was Aaron Copland.
Woo!
Back in 1900. American composer.
Amazing composer.
Yes. Yeah. And here's one that we don't think of often. James Francis Cooke was born.
Oh, I had his book.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was born on this day in 1875. And I remember hearing his name years ago. I think I must have been
There's
in
a
high school.
Dover book, which is all about piano music or piano history or something like that.
Yeah.
I've got it over there on the shelf.
Oh, cool. I think what I saw was an antique version of that over at Findlay Public Library.
Well, I'm kind of an antique version myself.
You're young at heart. So, anyways, believe it or not, it must have been fake. Okay, so later on today, we'll be discussing a little bit more about James Francis Cooke.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, today, before we get started here.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have anything prepared, so
I'll just show it to him.
I'll just show it to him, yes. So, folks, I bent backwards. Right now I'm bent forward to advertise for Corey's piano polish. It's an excellent polish. Keep that piano glittering and untainted with fingerprints on the surface. I know how kids like to touch shiny things, but this is a good remedy. You know, one thing for sure, pianos, grand pianos in particular, can be a real dust collector. Here's your remedy, okay? Corey, piano polish. I bring it with me everywhere I go. And if you have an antique piano...
Oh, here's the love juice.
Oh, jeez. Boy.
No, if you love your piano.
Yes, if you love your piano. This is for the antique pianos, the one that are non-gloss. It's lemon oil. Notice that I haven't even opened this one yet. So hopefully I'll find a piano where we could actually use this. All right, so I hope you're all anxious as we are. Let's go. So this week.
Can I do it?
Oh, that's right. You said you wanted.
I have uncharacteristically. We don't. We're not getting any pay for this promotional stuff, but you know, it's a really good product that Elmer loves, and he's supporting them. And maybe someday they'll just decide to hire the boy for real. In my case, I mentioned it, I think, in at least one of our shows recently, but I had some computer problems. I have a nice computer. It's an HP. I got it, I think, in 23. It's one of those self-contained jobs. Big screen, I think it's 27-inch, and worked really great for a while. I mean, since I got it, it was good. It's pretty fast and all that stuff, and everything's nice. But a few weeks ago, then I go to turn on the little button on the back, and it goes beep, boo, beep, boo, over and over and over again. I tried to get it going. So Laura found a computer fellow that would do home service, and he's the guy that I'm going to promote. But he got her fixed, and it turns out it was the BIOS chip on the motherboard. So he soldered a new one into her. He checked everything else and did everything. Looked at her. She's in really good shape, and now she drives like one of those muscle cars from the 1960s. I mean, really fast, really strong, really powerful. It's really good, and the fee that he charged is incredibly reasonable. And then, since he was here, I have had this little laptop computer, an Acer Aspire, that I bought around the COVID time. And the people that wrote some reviews said she's a little slow, but you know, I wouldn't like do major work on it, but she functions and everything. Well, I got to the point. You remember? Or you probably don't know. Dalai Lama wrote a book on anger. I think it was called Healing Anger. And this computer was so you're gonna have to do this, Elmer. Ready? This computer was so slow.
How slow was it?
This book was so slow. I think it's possible she could have raised the Dalai Lama to anger.
Oh!
Really challenged the guy's patience. Because basically, when I turn her on, she'd have so much to do. She'd cycle through stuff and everything. And I get out a book and start reading and stuff, and then look to see if she was done. It was ridiculous, really ridiculous.
Did it have one of those spinning beach balls?
Yeah. And fundamentally, I mean, and I didn't use her that much because she wasn't a dominant computer to use, but she was there in the healing room, you know, for ease and convenience and stuff. Marc could use her shortly, but Lordy. So William took her last week, and let's see a few things he did. He replaced the manual hard drive, mechanical hard drive, with a solid state one, really good one, and got in there and eliminated a lot of things that were running in the background. He cleaned up, there's some bugs in it and stuff. He updated her to Windows 11, put a new battery in her, and some things like that. And the price that I paid for all that was very reasonable. And this is what I'd say. The fellow's name is William. He's a good man, trustworthy, has lots of integrity, knows his stuff, he's honest, he's a kind heart, and he's very good about explaining without getting too technical and demonstrating stuff. And the guy is a whiz, he's quick as it is. It's his own company. It's called Trust Computer Services, and his name is William. And I'm going to be putting that information up on the screen so you can take a look at it, because I'd like to plug him. I mean, in this day and age, there's a lot of fly-by-night stuff. There's a lot of stuff like, you know, I remember a famous joke that I think it was the guy that burned that black comedian, Richard.
Richard Pryor?
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Was it Richard Pryor? Yeah, I think so. He was talking about when he bought his first Mercedes or something, and he said, I think it was his skit, his routine. Yeah. So he had a problem with it, and he called up the dealership, the mechanic. He said, look, I've got a problem with my Mercedes. Well, it's going to cost $500. Well, I ain't told you what It is. Now, this is like back in the 90s or 80s.
Okay.
Right? And he said, don't matter, it's at least going to cost you $500. You know, it's like people like, this is our base fee. It's $125 just for us to have answered your question. You know?
Wow.
William doesn't do that.
Wow.
You know, and he spends really good quality time with it. Make sure you know, make sure you're happy, you're comfortable, and all that. So I'm going to put that up on the screen one last time. It's Trust Computer Services. I don't know the phone number off my head, but I'll put it there. And his name is William. And if you've got any computer problems in the greater Columbus area, I would give him a call because the guy is exceptional and really worth it. And I like to support good people. So that's my
Very good. Yeah. Well, so anyways, this week, if you've been hearing me late, just a few minutes ago, I'm sniffling. And it's only because I've been excavating once again.
Allergies then?
Oh yeah. So I've ran into some antiques, and when I run into old, material. And,
oh, you mean out and about? You've been
out and about. So
not
anyways,
in home.
Yeah. Well, before I sneeze here,
Uh-oh.
let's welcome everybody to PSI's High Place Thrifter.
Oh boy, we can do a hat, Uncle Monkey. We got a hat. I like my hat. And Uncle Elmer's gonna have a hat. And you get to wear a hat, Mr. Barkley. You gotta wear a hat.
Yeah, I think he can wear that too. You can see him now. I pulled him up a little bit so you can see. So we're back. Elmer is clearing his sinuses. And then we'll get rolling. I've got Thrifter things to show, but he's going to start us off.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Now sit there just for a minute. Just sit still. So we got his hat for him now. Okay, there you go.
Oh, my hat.
Yeah, your hat.
Okay.
We were all wearing hats.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a Thrifter tradition.
All right. So earlier I mentioned the birthday guy here, James.
Uh-oh. There it goes.
Oh boy.
Oh!
I'm sorry. Francis. Oh boy, this is going to be bad.
Lordy.
James Francis Cooke. He was born today, 1875. And anyways, let's talk about this guy just a bit here. All right. Born today, 1875. Died on March 3rd, 1960. He is an author, journalist, editor, publisher, music teacher, pianist, and composer.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was a doctor of music. He attended Royal Conservatory of Würzburg.
Würzburg.
Okay, well, he says it. Yeah, listen.
Is it B-E-R-G or B-U-R-G?
B-U-R-G.
Yeah. Würzburg, yeah.
He authored the following: The Great Pianists on Piano Playing, Great Singers on the Art of Singing, Mastering the Scales and Arpeggios, and he was the editor of the Etude magazine.
Cool.
So that's quite a roster there. So, and continuing on here, there's more. I listed down some of the piano works that he was known for. These are rather poetic titles, so I would imagine that most of his music was sort of in the era style popular music. Solo piano, White Orchids from 1941. Mountain Shower from 1943. Roses at Dawn in 1945. Ballet Mignon from 1948. There's also a work called Sea Gardens from 1925, which includes an original poem.
Wow.
So interestingly enough,
Creative fellow.
yeah. So interestingly enough, I show up at the Upper Arlington Library and found this thing.
You found a book.
Yes, Mastering the Scales and
Arpeggios
by James Francis Cooke.
Wow.
Published by Theodore Presser Company in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So, look at this score.
It's a
Look at
huge
the score.
oversize,
Big
yeah.
one. Big one. This is the way they used to do scores, folks. Look at this. Do you have a comparison score?
Anything you can grab down there.
Okay. Okay. Here's a Henley. Okay.
Contemporary.
Henley. Look at this. About a couple inches there.
Pianos were bigger too.
Yeah.
Them old monster uprights from the 19th century.
Yeah. Interestingly enough. So, this thing has everything. Holy crap. I went reading through it. What's nice is, well, for some of you youngins, it's not going to be much of a problem until you reach about our age. But the printing here is big, so it's easier to read. So, it's good. Yeah, I've got bifocals here, and I tell you the truth, I hate having to do this.
Yeah.
You know,
When was this published? It should be from.
this was published 1913.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the oversized book and the oversized printing. Now, of course, people had electricity going back into the 19th century, but the wealthy people did.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean ordinary people did around the country. I mean, you had electric lights, but then there was also gas lamps in a lot of houses in the later 19th century. But people were still, you know, if you find instruments, pianos built in the late 19th century in Europe and America, right up to about the 20th century, they have those little fold-out stands on them that come out that were candle stands.
Yep.
For putting candle
Yeah,
light.
I see
to your
those. They're
music.
right on the side.
I wonder if part of the big book, big print stuff was incandescent light through gas or electricity was not 100%, was not universally available in 1913.
Yeah.
This is a year before the First World War started.
Yeah.
4 years before we got involved.
Yeah.
So,
Boy, look at that. We've got all the scales, major and minor. Look at that. Scales in double thirds, double sixths,
wow.
major and minor.
Who do you study with?
Who did he study with?
Is-
Let me see. I think I might have caution. It's old.
Oh, I got it.
So you know how.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. Do you have the same allergies I do?
Well, no.
Okay, good.
Pretty good.
All right. So who did he study with? That's a good question. I don't have that info.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, there's some good ton of quotes in here.
There is.
Yeah, it's about scales.
Oh, it's about.
Robert Schumann said, "You must sedulously practice all scales." Carl Charney says, "Do you ask me how good a player you may become? Tell me how much you practice your scales."
Oh gosh.
Joseph Levine said, "During the first 5 years, the backbone of all daily work in Russian music schools is scales and arpeggios. A pupil who attempted complicated pieces without this preliminary drill would be laughed at in Russia."
Oh god.
Some really interesting quotes from some famous people.
Yeah.
Joseph Hoffman said, "I consider the practice of scales important, not only for the fingers, but also for the discipline of the ear with regard to the feeling of tonality, understanding of intervals, and the comprehension of the total compass of the piano." Rachmaninoff said, "I believe this matter of insisting upon a thorough technical knowledge, particularly scale playing, is a very vital one. The mere ability to play a few pieces does not constitute musical proficiency.
Wow.
It's really cool. There's a lot more of them, too.
A lot more. Oh, gosh. So,
Well, and he was the editor of 18
the
magazine.
18 magazine.
So he had connections to all these people.
Yeah. So, you pick up one of these, I'm sure you'll get an earful of quotes.
Wow, this is really cool. There's a background before our scales. Whoa, a historical thing going into all, oh my God, even the ancient Greek.
That's what I noticed too. Yep.
And then all the modes.
Yeah.
And referring to them as Greek octaves, church scales, and Greek scales. Wow.
Do you have his book up there?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
If you look
let me
up
go
there
see.
in the pianist's area right there,
All right.
it's pianist on piano playing, right?
Yep. Great. Yeah.
It should be right there, second one on the right there, second shelf down. Somewhere there. Or is it up on the top as well? Is it up on the top? On towards the right?
Huh.
It's not there?
I do not see it.
Yeah, well, it would only be right there. Maybe I don't own it. I thought I did.
Wow. Is this it? No, it's not it. Is this it? No.
I do have a book on pianists on piano playing.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, quite
But
a
it's
few.
not his book, huh? Huh.
There it is.
I thought I had that book.
There it is.
Yeah, it's hardbound.
Great
right?
pianists on piano playing. You got the antique one. I thought you said
see, I
silver.
told you I'm an antique guy.
Holy moly! Look at this thing. Dang! Look at this thing.
Yeah, look at the original.
Holy
copyright
moly.
design.
So incidentally, when he published this, it had 21 pianists.
Yeah.
But there was a second copyright, which added 9 more.
Of course, yeah.
So this was, yeah, see, you got the second one. So you got the copyrighted, the first one was copyrighted 1913. The second one, which is this one, was copyrighted 1917, which would include 9 more entries.
Yeah, interesting.
Boy, look at this roster in here.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Let me read to you the roster in this. We have here, some of them I don't know. Pepito Ariola. Wilhelm Bachhaus. Harold Bauer. Fanny Bloomfield Zeisler. Here's one from Ferruccio Busoni, Teresa Carreño, Osip Gabrilovich, Leopold Godofsky, Catherine Goodson, Joseph Hoffman, Joseph Levine, Vladimir de Pachman, Max Power. Here's even a chapter here from Rachmaninoff. Reisenauer. Alfred?
Alfred Reisenauer.
Alfred Reisenauer. Yeah. Emil Sauer. Xavier Sharvenka. Schelling. What's his first name? Starts with an E.
And what's his name? Schelling?
It might be Ernest.
Ernest Schelling.
Ernest Schelling, yeah.
Yeah.
Sigismund Stahovsky. Inyas Paderewski. Wow. Yolando Mero. Don't know that one. Have you heard of Yolando Mero? You're right. Rudolf Gans. Ernest Hutchison. Olga Samaroff. Mark Hamburg. Percy Granger. Alexander Lambert. Alberto Jonas. Is there more? That was it. That's a lot.
So I know what our project is then.
What?
But those 2 or 3 names we don't know at all.
Yeah.
We should look them up.
We should look them up. Yeah, we should find out.
So we remember who they are. I recognize almost all of them.
I know, so did I. This is what it looks like. Look at that.
I'll put a picture of James Francis Cooke up on the screen.
Yeah, good.
So that original book was published the same year that he published this as well. That boy
Yeah.
was busy.
Yeah, he was very busy.
Wow.
Yeah,
So he was 38 years old when he did that. He was
Yeah.
born in 75.
and his credentials goes even much farther than what, I mean, he's been given awards. He was made a president of this, a president of that, president of, I mean, he even did things for Theodore Presser company. So I'm putting this back.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So, anyways, mastering scales, arpeggios, double thirds, double six, major and minor. Holy
I
crap.
was going to suggest that it's always nice to own the real thing.
Yeah.
But for those of you who have a subscription to IMSLB, my guess is that's in it. Because they have treatises
they probably
on
should.
all kind, not just music itself, but things about music.
Yeah.
So long as they're copyright free and you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But something that old is probably in the IMSLB.
Yeah, it should.
Should be interesting.
Okay, so want to hear more? So on a whim, I was pressed for time, folks. When I arrived, what? You found
I'm sorry,
something?
I'm just looking. I don't recognize any of the teachers' names that Cooke studied with, except he studied music with somebody. Dudley Buck. You remember the name Dudley Buck?
Dudley Buck.
Yeah.
No, don't know Dudley
In
Buck.
the Dover collection of early American piano music,
Okay.
there's a theme and variations, I think, or something like that,
Yeah.
from a guy named Dudley Buck.
Okay. God, what a rather.
But I mean, historically speaking, I mean, the guy was in there. And it's kind of a Stephen Foster vintage,
Okay.
that kind of thing. Oh, here he is.
Who's Dudley Buck?
Dudley Buck.
You gonna post this picture too?
1839 to 1909, he was an American composer, organist, and writer on music. Ooh, he published several books, most notably The Dictionary of Musical Terms
Wow.
and The Influence of the Organ in History.
Dudley Buck.
There's his picture, right? Oh, shit. Sorry.
It's alright.
Right? There he is. That's Dudley Buck. It's just the name, dude.
Yeah.
Right? So.
We'll
Put his name
post
up.
a picture.
We'll put up Mr. Buck. Yeah, I'll put up Mr. Cooke.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Alrighty.
So, if you haven't had enough yet, folks, I found something else. Now, mind you,
Oh, you think they didn't click off yet?
what?
They didn't click off yet.
I hope
You're still
not.
there? Are you still
Still
there?
there?
Okay.
Okay.
Boys, you want to do a little routine for him?
Sure, Kamaki, what you want us to do?
Oh, God.
No, it's okay.
Behave.
Yeah, it's okay.
Please.
It's okay, boys.
So, anyways, I only had 30 minutes to run around the library to find what I could find. And
What
so,
do you mean you only have to? They give you a certain time you're in?
no, I had to be at work by 12
Oh.
noon. The place opened at 11 o'clock. Okay. And so I gathered that it would take me 30 minutes to get from the public library back to Von Mar.
Uh-huh.
So 30 minutes was all I had. So I went running around like a,
Good for you. This
Yeah,
boy
like a
is such a
banshee.
trooper. He really deserves that Australian hat that he gets to wear sometimes.
oh, good. So anyways, I found this. Waterman's piano forms. Look at the front. I know. That's what I saw. But I saw piano forms, so I just grabbed the book, didn't bother looking what's inside of it.
Yeah.
But it's old, see?
Yeah, well,
Apparently. See, look. It's really old.
not just that, but
I mean, the binding here is like, I don't know.
like
It's,
tape.
yeah. So here it is. Okay. And his name is Glenn, with two N's, Glenn R. Waterman. That's water and man, Waterman. And it says here, the inside title page, Waterman's Piano Forms, a course of invention by Glenn R. Waterman.
I still don't understand what the book is.
I know, either do I. I just barely
What are
looked at it.
piano forms? Like etudes, mazurkas? Like
Oh, we'll get to it here. It gives a listing here. Forms for syncopation, models for standard melodies, patterns for improvision. That's the word it has. Not improvisation, improvision.
I don't think that's a word. I'm going to look it up, but I'll
Yeah, you
find
better
out.
look it up.
Okay, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong.
Okay. Outlines for accompaniments, arrangement for harmonizing, structure for transposition, effects for embellishment, combinations for progression, figures for basses, motives for treble, designs for endings, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, so
Any idea what it is?
etc., etc., etc.
That's what it says.
You know?
It says etc., etc., etc. right at the bottom.
Do you know what etc. means? I mean, what he's referring to.
Sort of. Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to say, I haven't heard about the publication date, but after Darwin published his thing on evolution, right?
Yeah.
It was an interesting time. I can't remember all the names that I want to think of, but there was a famous theologian, British, who at the time, well, of course there were ones that argued against Darwin, but then there was famously an author, his name is, I mean, if you read like the great books that Clifton Fadiman writes about or something like that, I can't think of his name, but he actually found a way to absorb Darwin into his Christian system of faith and all that. But there was a very specific move in the 19th century, really against religion and the church, in favor of what was called modern science, scientific research and all that kind of thing. You know, we think of like what we're doing in the 21st century now. I mean, I had a heart attack and they put a stent in, and then 5 years later they added a little bit to it. The situation that I had back when I was a little boy, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
More than 50% of the guys that went in with some kind of heart thing, went into surgery, they wouldn't come out alive.
Right.
When I was a boy. And I mean, my God, all the stuff they're discovering now, the microsurgeries and everything at the super microcellular level and everything like that.
Nanobots.
We have to realize this kind of resourceful scientific inquiry started, let's say, after the American Civil War, okay? Sometime after that. And really, in terms of the truly modern stuff that began to work, we've only known about, what's the cure for pneumonia that the Scottish guy came up with?
Oh.
The stuff for moldy bread. Penicillin.
Penicillin, yeah.
That was early 20th century, sometime before the First World War, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and then the stuff with physics, certain scientists that are coming up with things that led to the creation of the first atomic bomb in the Second World War. That was only 20 or 25 years old in terms of the workable theories. The age that we live in terms of scientific understanding is really young. And yet what we've achieved in 100 years, maybe it's more than that, is extraordinary. However, there was this great enthusiasm, this kind of explosion of new scientific inquiry. I can't think of his name right now, my mind's skipping, but the famous German archaeologist who discovered Troy, Schliemann, basically created the modern science of archaeology, which has become more and more refined over time. That was the late 19th century. There's a lot of snake oil stuff going on. That's what I'm getting at here. Because this strikes me as somebody who had a good command of vocabulary.
Yep.
And, you know, probably had a bachelor's degree maybe or something like that.
Okay.
Something. And starts tossing words around.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, back in the days, they would even refer to people like that as doctor so-and-so, even though he wasn't.
Yeah.
Or didn't have a PhD. No. Just because he sounded educated and he dressed pretty good and everything. You know who was a snake oil kind of guy?
Who?
The guy who Dorothy meets on the road, who ends up being the Wizard of Oz in Maine. But he's this like guy living in his
stage
going
wagon
around and selling this They literally call it
elixir.
snake oil medicine,
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that. So that's just my guess. Okay, so let's see what's really going on. Am I totally off the mark, or is
You're close to it.
because
You're very close.
I'm just thinking, you know, think about the people that were studying with Franz Liszt and the people that had started, Otto Rubinstein, that started the Russian school of piano playing and everything.
Yeah.
And these guys are going to be scratching their head. What is a piano form? What is this shit?
Okay.
Okay, like just now,
Yeah.
Elmer was just talking recently, a brand new scientific discovery. They finally understand that it is possible for different pianists to play the same piano and get a different color and a different tone from the same instrument.
Yeah.
Duh!
Exactly. Okay. Well, folks, what you trying to get to learn from this book, and you can read this book if it interests you. Okay?
Historically, it would be.
Yeah, it would
fun
be
to look
interesting.
at, yeah.
He teaches you how to improvise and compose in the style of ragtime.
No way.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Now, okay.
These ragtime people are very serious. You know, there's a national movement for it. and
Yep,
everything.
yep,
There's a guy that I knew out in Boulder who was the president of it for a while.
yep.
They take this stuff
Really seriously, they do.
Really seriously.
They do. So, anyways, my recommendation is, okay, there's very few books that do this, okay, that teach you about composing and improvising in the style of ragtime. Most of the musical examples in here are in the key of C. So, if you decide to study this, I suggest having a thorough knowledge on how to transpose. You'll need to transpose all the C major examples to other keys as well. But, you know, it has all the boom, chuck explanations and how to use the bass line to chromatically change key. And he uses a certain chordal formulas that will also assist in learning how to change key, but it has all the mannerisms that you would expect to hear from ragtime music. So,
Well,
now,
this guy really went to a lot of
he
hard
did
work.
go through a lot of hard work. Now, would you like to know more about him?
Yeah. So I may have misspoken, but
Okay,
can I say something? My initial impression?
sure.
This is for people who will have to have learned or developed enough musical reading knowledge.
Yeah.
Music reading knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's basically in a place of being in a city where you could study with someone or have a teacher.
Yeah.
This book is meant to be your teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, it can show you. It
It
looks
can show
like
you stuff,
most
yeah.
everything. It's incredibly detailed.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody who would have had the passion and the desire to work their way through it, but you could. This is a substitute teacher and a substitute student in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I did look him up. His full name, Glenn R. Waterman, was born on July 15th, 1890.
Oh,
Died on June 20th, 1981.
whoa!
So he was nearly 90 years old.
91 years old. Wow.
Yeah. So, anyways, birthplace, Athens, Michigan.
Huh.
You'll be surprised about his background here. He was a school teacher at Leroy School District for 3 years,
Okay, just 3.
but he spent a majority of his time working for the Postal Service in Battle Creek.
Michigan.
Yes, delivered mail, worked with mail for well over 40 years.
You know what is also important about Battle Creek, Michigan?
What?
Isn't that where Kellogg's was?
I don't know.
You know what I mean by Kellogg's.
I know who
right?
Kellogg's is, yeah.
So did you ever see that movie that...
They had the Kellogg's versus Post, or General Mills.
No. Who's the... I love the guy. The British actor. Welsh British.
Yeah.
Done tons of films. He did.
Richard Attenborough?
No, he played Hannibal Lecter, for example.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. You never saw the one where he plays Dr. Kellogg?
No.
Remember, he's got some family. Some of them are well-to-do, but he's this kind of nutty guy that starts this sanatorium. I think it was at Battle Creek, Michigan, where the people in the 19th century would come to get healthy.
Yeah.
And this is where he came up with his idea for the cereal.
Yeah.
Good cereals, you know, like, not the super sugar sweet stuff now, but that kind of thing. And he ran this whole kind of spa with all these people.
Yeah.
Matthew, what's his name? Is it Bodine or
Matthew Modine?
No. The guy who's
Matthew
married.
Broderick?
Yeah, Matthew Broderick, the one that's married to Carrie, right?
Yeah.
Jessica Parker. Right?
Jessica, yeah.
He's in it. The guy that played the chief on Star Trek, the engineer dude, he's in it. Some pretty famous people. Actually, I forget who.
Do you remember the title of this?
I'll put it up on the screen. It is a great, hilarious, kind of gross you out a little bit movie because it's the later 19th century, and so he's running this spa, and he's a real dictator about it, and real control stuff. Some funny stuff happens, some terrible things happen, like they use electricity to kind of charge people, you know, to get them to like. And there's this English guy that's crazy, no, Russian guy, who's crazy about the treatment, you know, that they do with the stuff. So it somehow works that he's sitting in water and they run the electricity through it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he didn't come out.
Oh,
but stuff like this happened,
holy crap.
and there's no accounting for it. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, it's the weirdest movie, but it was a real place and a real thing going on, and there was some. It was a place where it was like cutting edge health science stuff, and it had a tremendous effect on the place up there because that eventually is where Kellogg's cereals and everything came from for the next century. I think his brother or family got into the commercial aspect of it because he wasn't into it himself. But this guy was a postal worker in that town and stuff. Because what would happen, I don't know about the town itself. You know, you see some aspects of the other part of the town. But the point is, wealthy people, really wealthy people. People with cars before even people knew what cars were, motoring into this place and everything. And they brought some big money and high-minded kind of stuff to this kind of backwards kind of area of Michigan. And it's very interesting to me that he worked and lived there and wrote a book like that.
Yeah.
Because then that begins to make sense in terms of what was going on environmentally around it.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Kellogg was a huge name. I mean, really big. He created all these stuff. He came up with a lot of his medical stuff. Well, not all of it, but some of the stuff was like, you know. But some of the ideas that he had really came into the 20th century as very sensible and good things to do for health and stuff like that. And then I think it was his family that caught on to some of the recipes with the cereal stuff. He wasn't interested in marketing or anything like that, but they're the ones that built the whole Kellogg's name.
Wow. Well, it must have been a different movie I was watching. I was watching a documentary. I think it was on the History Channel. It was the war on. It was the war of the cereals, basically.
Yeah.
It was Kellogg's, Post, and General Mills.
Yeah.
Boy, these guys were brutal.
Yeah.
The
movie kind of points it out that there's other people trying to come up with Kellogg's formulas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Stuff that they use to make it. I mean, this is long before. Who's the guy that wrote the book, The Jungle or something like that?
Yeah, Sinclair Lewis.
Sinclair Lewis about what goes into sausages.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the new laws are not that great. You know that there are acceptable amounts of pieces of insects that can be like in a Hershey chocolate bar.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Or, frankly, certain things like a rat hair, this and that. It has to do with how much of it per amount of food that they're creating. But most of the commercially manufactured foods and stuff, folks, I'm not an authority on this, but from the way I read it, none of that is what the album will say 100% pure or 100% natural.
Yeah.
There's little bits of this and that find their ways. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. So, anyways, this Glenn R. Waterman, maybe, I don't know where he got his music education from, but he could very well be one of the few miracles of being self-taught. So let me show you the book real quick. Notice the scores are getting smaller compared to the other one from James Francis Cooke. Here it is. It looks like this. Let's see. Here are the chords.
Oh, that's it.
What, you found something?
I found the movie.
Okay. You post it? Or?
Yeah, I'll post it. Here's a little picture of him.
Oh, gosh, he looks wicked.
The movie was called The Road to Welville. Oh, it's a marvelous movie. It's a little disconcerting in some ways. Yeah, it says the plot. Here's the plot. Dr. John Harvey Kellogg opened a sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan, where he practiced his unusual methods for maintaining health, including colonic irrigation. That was a big one. You know, enemas. Electrical stimulus and sexual abstinence, vegetarianism, and physical exercise. Yeah, and then it goes on to tell what's happening.
Oh,
People are trying to make a fortune from the health food cereals. It's actually historically true to a certain extent. I mean, there's probably some. By the way, this is an adult film. I think it's possible it's at least, my guess, it could be rated R because there's some things in it.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. It's also, well, it's like really good comedy challenges and something like some of the best dramatic actors started out as comedians, like Robin Williams, right?
Robin Williams, yeah.
They understand a way to appeal to the human heart in a way, by way of an easy opening through humor, but then accessing the whole rainbow of emotions, you know. And this film has a way of doing that when you see kind of what goes on. Yeah. There's some interesting subplots in the movie which are really rather moving and curious. I don't know how much of it is super historically accurate, but wow, the costumes and the time when it happens and everything, you feel like you're right back there in the 1880s or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Good for you. That book stimulated some conversation, but that's kind of cool. And to be honest, it would be interesting to look and see if that is also possibly on IMSL.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
if
anybody uploaded it, then it might be there. But it's truly, when you look at it, it's an astonishingly thorough book. The guy, you just said something to me. I always thought, when I lived in Cyprus, on the north side of Cyprus especially, the island has been split since the 70s because of the Civil War. And the people themselves are, to a certain extent, reconciled. You know, politically and crap like that. You know, that's still going on. And then there's certain, I would just say fanatics on both sides that, you know.
Yeah.
What is fanaticism? You just prefer to hate people than live with them or appreciate them, you know. Anyway, I had a relatively huge personal library over there in terms of music, recordings, and I added to it when I was there for the purpose of my students.
Right.
My music, I had, not all of it, but probably 2/3 of it with me there. And a portion of my library. Most of the stuff here is new since I moved back to the United States. But there was a symphony orchestra, but it wasn't big enough to be a symphony orchestra. It was basically a state-created thing that made some money for the people that were in it. But there fundamentally was no orchestra. There's no opera company. There's no ballet. Really weren't public libraries. There wasn't a lot. I mean, people necessarily consumed a lot through the internet, you know. And I was kind of a little bit newer to that, so my students helped me learn things. I think I told the story in the first year when my student said, "You don't know about YouTube?" Because I had all these recordings, and I told the kids you could come and borrow stuff and listen to stuff, because some of the classes I taught had listening lists.
Right.
And somehow they were listening and passing the listening test, and I thought, how the hell are you doing this? And so a couple of my students were in my office for the office hours. They said, "Sir, you don't know about YouTube?" "You what? You know what?" And they showed me. That night, I didn't even practice that night, because after I finished my office work, which I usually did in the evening after most people were gone, I do my office work and then I go practice.
Yeah.
Instead, I stayed there for almost 5 hours that night, playing music videos from YouTube. Yeah. And I specifically remember one that I'd never seen or heard before. I don't have a recording of it. Bruno Walter, and I forget which orchestra was in Paris, playing the Brahms Violin Concerto with Henryk Szeryng. And it was made for French TV back in the 50s. And I remember seeing that one, and I was just watching that one in particular and some stuff, and there were tears coming down my eyes. I just thought, we live in such an incredible age, you know, that we have access to this stuff. I mean, when I was growing up in Western Ohio, you know, you're north of me. I remember when there was some things that I wanted to get, like I was doing a Baroque paper on castrati.
Oh gosh!
It was Baroque period, you know. Yeah. So I wanted to get some stuff. I looked up some resource materials, and it was from, the books were at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So my teacher, Trudy Faber, as a professor, she wrote requesting that they send the books to Wittenberg for that semester, so I could use them and read them and write my paper from them and stuff like that. That's the only way I could get access to that stuff. There was no computer with anybody having downloaded that information.
Exactly.
Or it didn't exist as an e-book, you know, the only way you could get it was through interlibrary loan through the universities, and only with the authority of a professor.
Yeah.
Even if you were a doctoral student back in those days, the professor had to make the request. I mean, that's the way it was. And, you know, then comparatively, we talked about the first time I ever went to Tower Records.
Oh, gosh.
In New York City. And I was, 20, young, everything. I almost had a heart attack. Almost had a heart attack when I walked into the classical floor.
Wall to wall.
Oh my God! All these pianists that I'd read about in these books. With Harold Schoenberg, the history of the piano stuff.
They were
all
there.
those recordings.
They were there.
Then they were showing this new technology at the time. This is back in the early '80s. It was a pirated recording, video recording of Toscanini rehearsing the NBC Symphony.
Oh, jeez!
In Carnegie Hall. And I'll never forget it because he got pissed off with him and just went into this tirade, and he just shouting, it's just like, holy crap. And then I remember another time they played some video, and it was of Joseph Hoffman playing the piano on video. And oh my God. Because you remember, we talked about it, all we had was Camelot Records. Right?
Yes, all we had was Camelot Records.
There was a big world of difference between the haves and the have-nots. And I think we both did quite well, given what we had access to. But my God, if we'd grown up in San Francisco, Chicago, or New York City, that's the kind of resources that people had for that kind of thing. And anyway, why did I get into that?
Oh,
what were we talking about?
Because we were talking about those books and the access.
Oh, I know what it was. When I was living in Cyprus and stuff like that, I started to talk about it. The not being opera houses. There wasn't the ballet. There wasn't this and this. There weren't like grand bookstores or Tower Records and things like that to go to. I started to refer to them as distractions. There were no distractions, meaning that whatever intellectual curiosity I had, or any artistic, endeavors or anything like that, I was the source.
Yeah.
I had to do it. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
There was nothing to keep me from doing that stuff as a person that wanted intellectual stimulation.
Exactly.
I had to do it.
Yes.
Right in a way like we did it in Western Ohio back in those days,
See,
right?
we were developing as PSI cadets.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And when you look at the 19th century, it always just astonished me. No, it's not an astonishment. It's more like impresses me.
Yeah.
When you listen to those pianists who came out of the 19th century,
Yeah.
who managed to get into the early recording period, and the way those guys played, and it's considered something like Hoffman,
Oh, yeah.
Levine,
Yeah.
even Paderewski, even though he's an old dude by the time they can
Friedheim.
record him, Ignaz Friedman, Arthur Friedheim. You listen to the way those people could play. Now, people nowadays also play stupendously,
Yeah.
but it sounds more, always to my ear, not that they all played that way, but a lot of them played with such command and facility and a certain ease and stuff. And wow, they all did it from up here.
Yeah.
I think that's because, Chopin didn't have any radio to listen
No, he
to.
didn't.
And what did Liszt do? People didn't, if you didn't live in a big city somewhere where there was an orchestra, you were never going to hear Beethoven symphonies.
No.
Or if there weren't any opera houses or any great singers living anywhere within 100 miles of you, considering how people did not travel that far back in those days. The only way you were going to hear that stuff is if Liszt came through and played it on the piano for you.
Yeah.
He was like WSU classical radio.
Basically.
Okay, here's the Third Symphony of Beethoven, and he played the thing for you, or his Schubert song transcription so you could hear them, and even put the words, principal important things he thought were important in the text of the music.
Yep.
So you knew kind of where it was and kind of what was going on. L'année de pèlerinage is often preceded by poetry or prose kind of writing from somebody, which gives an idea of what it is that he's talking about. It was an intentional effort to create programmatic music based upon literature. That was the 19th century, and that's part of the extraordinary thing about it. Now, at the same time, then there's technique that's being developed, technology,
Yeah.
and then like we've been talking about the modern medicine and all that just starting to come out of there. Marie Curie killed herself because she was experimenting with radium, and stuff like that. It was an incredible period. So I appreciate you bringing that book because I kind of trashed it. Because at the same time, there was a lot of snake oil crap.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There was a lot of stuff that tried to pass as knowledge and this and that and, all that kind of stuff. And it was just, that's the only reason that they did it. But people didn't have access to the kind of genuine education, or even what I want to say in French, the savoir-faire, just kind of knowing a general body of things, They didn't have that. So they had to trust people, and a lot of people got screwed, But that's a really impressive example of what erudite, which means smart, and might mean educated as well, but usually self-educated, resourceful, and hard-working, and rationally thinking, structured thinking people can come up with. I imagine that book could be useful to a person that would rather just self-train themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially where it's regarding the ragtime constructions and things like that. But the technical information about scales and keys and chord relationships and things like that. Whew. I mean, you could build a 1-year music course out of that book.
Oh, you probably could.
To teach people.
Yeah. I mean, and the interesting part about it is the language.
Yeah.
The language is told so that even a layman could figure it out.
Yeah.
Basically. All right, moving onwards.
Thank you. That was really interesting.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Okay, where are we? Oh, here we go. So, my traveling music this week.
Did you ever pick up the CD from the last time? Oh, Cécile Lissard, yeah.
Licade.
Licade, is it?
It's Licade.
Licade.
Okay, and it's a release. I think it's one of her earlier releases. It's released on Music Heritage Society, and it's autographed.
No way, by her?
Yes.
To Aida.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. Here.
Who is she? Was she from your country?
She's from Philippines.
Yeah.
Here it is. She's from Philippines.
Is she competition winner?
She is a competition winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the. I'm not sure, but I think it might have been the 11th trip. So, and it's interesting where she came from. Very, very similar to what's lots of pianists have gone through, sort of. But her full name, Cecile Buencamino Licade, born on May 11th, 1961. She's still around. She
You're older than me.
started lessons at 3 years old with her mother, Rosario.
You started with your mom, right?
Yeah, we did. Later on with another Rosario Picasso. That's not Picasso, but anyways. She made her orchestral debut at 7 years old with the Philharmonic Orchestra of the Philippines. She eventually made her way to the States, attended the Curtis Institute of Music.
Ooh.
Yeah, you stand a 1.0 or a 0.00009% chance of getting in.
You know another one of your compatriots, Antonio Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Tony Gonzaga was an incredible tenor. Ended up necessarily because he realized in the time that he was in the United States, amazing tenor. He went to Europe.
Yeah.
And he ended up being house, and back in the days, I think they still do this. In Germany especially, you belong to a house.
Yeah.
So he was a house singer in one of the big German companies. The last 20 years of his career, he was at the Wiener Staatsoper, Vienna State Opera, as a house tenor there. And there's a more than one, but he did some TV shows in Germany. And they have an earlier version of the Three Tenors kind of thing going on. It's kind of some scenes from opera, and they've got other singers and people doing it. And for me too. I mean, the modern Three Tenors thing for me was, there's two tenors and that guy. Pavarotti, come on, special one. But Domingo was amazing too at the time. Carreras actually had cancer, and I think that's a good. But when you see this earlier thing with Tony and these other two German singers, wow, that boy could sing. And I played with him when he came here in Columbus. But he was trained in the Philippines. Was in Philadelphia, and he was a high school teacher teaching biology or something like that. And somebody heard him sing in the church. And they said, somebody did talk to people at Curtis.
Yeah.
He was a young teacher in his 20s, but they said, this is something else. And he actually got into Curtis.
Wow.
And they taught him, and he went from there to Europe. A huge career. These Filipinos, man, they get around.
Maybe. Well, we'll see. Anyways, while she was at Curtis, she studied with Mieczysław Horszowski.
Wow.
The Polish.
Yeah.
Seymour Lipkin.
Ooh.
And finally, Rudolf Serkin.
No way. Both Horszowski and Serkin.
Yeah.
They were very good friends. I think in certain ways different pianists in a way.
Yeah.
But they were really good buddies. And I think Peter Serkin studied with Horszowski.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah. As Serkin's son studied with Horszowski.
So, anyways, excuse me,
dude.
Yeah, something got kicked up. Anyways, she was eventually after winning the competition, she made a tour around the world, probably made several recordings. Eventually, wound up being awarded the Grand Prix du Disque.
Oh,
for her release of the Chopin Concerto. I think it might be number 1, and the Saint-Saëns number 2 G minor with Sony. It's a Sony release with the London Philharmonic and Andre Previn.
Oh,
Interesting.
Previn was a great collaborator.
Yeah.
He was a wonderful conductor.
The only other recordings I remember her coming out with was the Rachmaninoff recording of the Concerto number 2
I've
and the
heard
Rhapsody
I've heard
with Claudio Botto.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that one.
don't think I own it, but somehow I know it.
And finally, this one, the Chopin CD. Here you're treated with the Ballade in G minor, the Nocturne in F major, Opus 15, number 1. Please pardon my speaking a little quicker now because I'm about to sneeze again. 12 Etudes, Opus 10, all 12, and she closes the CD with the Scherzo in B flat minor, Opus 31. There it is. So that's been my traveling music this week.
Anybody that takes on the Opus 10 Etudes?
Yeah.
As I said, I studied most of all of the Etudes, but I only played 2 or 3 of the Opus 10s.
Yeah.
I played a lot of, almost all of the Opus 25, but not the 6ths.
Yeah.
I did play thirds. Oh, and I think the one in octaves. I forget which number that is.
Yeah, that's number
11, is it?
10.
10. I think I did play that one. But she does all the Opus 10s. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Those were dedicated to Liszt.
well, there's a kid on YouTube now. She's only 12, and she does the whole Opus 10. She's a kid.
How did she get around those da-da-da-da-da?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, for me, it's too expansive and exhausting, and I'm concerned about the tension
Well,
from doing it.
I don't know if this is practical, but you remember that Frank Sanucci
Yeah.
book that you copied for
Yes.
me, the technique?
Yeah.
There's there's one of those exercises, the
Yeah.
one on arpeggios,
Yeah.
that gave me an idea on an alternative fingering for the first etude.
Really?
You only have to use these 3 fingers for it.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But he's using some serious horizontal movement.
Oh yeah, very serious. If you think about this, all right, the first 4 notes, C, G, C, E, right? How about fingering it 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2.
Oh, so he's using a lot of
1,
horizontal
3,
movement.
1, 2.
It's not stretching the
1, 3,
but
1, 2. Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Now you're not going to get it up to tempo, but
Yeah.
still, just the fact that it's a good exercise for at least working, like I said, the horizontal movement.
That's interesting.
And this.
Because actually, I find when I'm fingering and playing things,
Oh,
I
it's
don't
this
know.
too.
I don't know if this came. I don't know exactly how it developed. I'm sure it was taught to me in a kind of way, but I tend to approach things from a tone, definitely a tonal, probably octave range structure with the fingering and things like that, and then move the hand, or cross in some kind of ways with bridges that work, but I don't do massive stretched hand stuff. And my fingering, I find, is often, as much as possible, is based upon tonic, dominant, relative key relationships.
Yeah.
But no more than within an octave, and in many cases even like 5-finger expanded 5-finger positions. And it works really well for me. And I tend to teach that to my students as well, to learn how to move that way. That could be a whole different subject if we ever talk about certain things.
Absolutely.
We threaten to do sometimes, but we never did do that last Titsky.
Oh,
That's a big.
That's a big.
That would
That's
be
a
big
tall
thing.
order. I
We
still
should do it in parts.
I know, but I
And
still
not
have,
the whole show, but just a portion.
but I'm still thinking. Well, we'll talk about it later because I still have ideas about that.
But that's very interesting. The fingering you suggest like
Yeah.
that. Now some of the other one, like the A minor, which is number 2, right?
Yeah.
Junky, 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 junky,
Yeah.
junky, junky.
Yeah.
Like the 4th and 5th fingers working like a little spider.
Yeah. So, but anyways, All right, as far as Cecile Lacoste here goes, I think she's still performing. About a year ago on PSI, I think I brought in some material by one composer, Alexander Reinagel. I don't know if you remember that, Reinagel. And I had brought in an album that was sort of this thick, a score, and it had his 4 piano sonatas, which have been referred to as the Philadelphia Sonatas.
Now, Reinagel, was he actually Scottish? I'm not sure.
He's Scottish.
Yeah, I remember. And he settled in the States,
He
right?
settled in the States, and he very well may be...
Philadelphia, maybe?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He very well may be the first first classical composer to be here in the States. He started the first concert hall, the very first one, and started bringing people into concerts, and he started composing these pieces. Well, anyways, I started looking for people who on YouTube to see who's ever recorded some of these, and she actually did. Alexander Reinagel sonatas.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So, and more. She's also recorded Gottschalk.
Wow.
A bunch of Gottschalk pieces.
It's nice to get to that point in your career where you don't have to play the tried and true stuff anymore, but you can start exploring other things.
Exactly.
That's where I am at this point in my life. Who cares what I play anymore?
I do.
Listening.
I do.
I've got programs in mind of what I'm doing. I've got one I'm working on now. But I made it a point well over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have to do the competitions anymore. I was a professor, the second half of the concert, watch out, because you're going to hear pieces you don't even, who's that? I go, wow, that's a really cool piece, good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like what we do in this show.
Yeah.
Not the tall guys that stick up on top of the iceberg, but,
Yeah.
the other ones that belong in the iceberg, but, the ones even underwater. You don't even know they're there.
Exactly.
So,
but anyways, Cecile Lacoste.
good for her.
She has made it here to Columbus. She's even performed over at by Weston.
Really?
I had to pick her up at the airport.
No way, you met her?
I did. I met her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I met her.
You guys speak any,
No, we didn't speak
Tagalog?
any Tagalog.
No.
We did. We spoke English. She was very quiet. I think she was very tired. So I didn't want to, overtax her since she was just stepping off the plane. I didn't know where she was coming from, but she did look very tired. So
she's just a little bit older than you.
Just a little bit. So I asked her, he says, so what was it like to play for a circuit? That was the first question in my mind. I was, I think I was 19 or 20 years old at the time. I had to ask her what was it like to play for Rudolf Serkin. And she said, he says, he was a good man. She says he was a good man. He was always kind. He never, in a certain way, she said he didn't torture you or anything. And he didn't have to be mean to you to get his point across. He loved young people. She said she loved working with young people, and so it was one of her favorite teachers. So
I love those old videos you see of him and his son playing Schubert forehands on YouTube, and he's moving his mouth, and he's kind of like almost singing along or playing the music as he's playing with it.
Yeah.
Of course, he's quite older and a little more fragile there, but I saw some pictures of Serkin. It reminded me, De Pachman. There's some famous black and white pictures of him milking the cows on his farm. Yeah. He used to say the best finger warm-up is to go out and milk your cows in the morning. That'll get your fingers moving. And then there's some pictures of, what's the summer camp they started? Of Serkin and, what's it called up there?
Interlaken?
No, that's Michigan. No, they're up in New England. If we can't think of it, I'll put it on the screen.
Marlboro?
Yes,
Yeah.
Marlboro, Vermont.
Yeah.
I think they had it there because Serkin bought a farm up there. And there's pictures of him in these big, huge No.
Overalls?
Overalls and these boots that come up to his thighs, or he's digging a ditch.
Oh,
outside.
boy, that's great.
Stuff like that. He was the serious hands-on farmer type.
Wow.
Really, and he had a farm, the whole thing, and it was. Yeah, there's some pictures of him like with a shovel, and it looks like to me he's probably digging a ditch or doing something in his backyard. I love people like that.
Last one.
Okay.
You may not like this girl, but she is who she is. Valentina Lasisa.
No, she could play.
Yes, she can play.
Unfortunately, her politics are screwed
Yes, and her messed up. Valentina Lasisa. This album actually has a title on it. Love Story.
Yeah.
It's piano themes from the cinema's golden age. Okay, so in it you'll be treated with, let me see, Richard Ansell's Warsaw Concerto, Richard Rodney Bennett's Murder on the Orient Express. Shostakovich actually wrote film music here.
Yeah, he did.
The Storming of Red Hill from the movie The Unforgettable Year. Charles Williams, Jealous Lover from The Apartment. You know, you might see the sheet music. Da-da, da-da, ba-da. She's playing it here. Nina Rota, arranged by Arthur Wilkinson, The Legend of the Glass Mountain from The Glass Mountain.
Wow.
And one of my favorite composers here, Robert Farnett. She's playing a piece called Seashore from the Players TV advert, whatever that is, 1961. I think I talked about Robert Farnett just a little bit.
I think I remember the
episodes. He's Canadian.
name. I don't know him.
Another Richard Ansell piece, Invocation, from the movie Journey to Romance. And here is Kenneth Leslie Smith, the Mansell Concerto from Women's Angle, 1952. Hubert Batt, 1883-1945, The Cornish Rhapsody from...
I have a solo version of that.
Do you?
Talked about that. Cornish
So-
Rhapsody.
Anyways, there's also here Jack Beaver, arranged by Philip Lane, the portrait of Isla from The Case of the Frightened Lady. And here is a solo piano piece by David Grusin.
Ooh, Dave Grusin.
Dave
Good
Grusin.
graduate from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Yes,
The concert hall is Dave Grusin Hall.
the New Hampshire Hornpipe from On Golden Pond.
Oh, that's just a lovely movie.
Yeah. Light the Lucas, arranged by Philip Lane, the Stage Fright Rhapsody from the movie Stage Fright, Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Leslie Bridgewater, the work Legend of Lancelot from the movie Train of Events. Charles Williams, The Dream of Ulwin from While I Live, 1947. And last, Carl Davis, Pride and Prejudice from the TV series Pride and Prejudice.
You know, I have a LP because every once in a while they do recordings like this.
Yeah.
Remember Peter Nero?
Yes, I do.
I got Peter Nero doing the Warsaw Concerto and all that stuff. There's certain famous ones that we grew up with.
Yeah.
These are some other kinds of films that are older than we are, yeah. But I think it'd be kind of interesting to hear it.
Yeah.
It's not one would say necessarily, most of the time not high class music, but it's, done in that style of like a piano concerto.
Yeah.
And sometimes with wonderful themes and things.
Oh, yeah.
You going to tell them about how her career developed and everything?
Yes, there's not much on her. Not very much. She was born in the year 1973. Notice I didn't keep a month or date. It's not in there, not released. She as well started at the age of 3 years old. Made her debut on stage at 4. She attended the Lishenko Music School. Eventually left there to study at the Kiev Conservatory. Studies with Dr. Ludmila Sabierko. And she's renowned world over for basically started her career through social media.
Yeah.
Her first YouTube video was in the year 2007.
Yeah. She's from Ukraine. possible she could be Russian-Ukrainian of birth.
Her father is Ukrainian. Her mother
Was
is
Russian.
Russian
Yeah.
Polish.
Ah. So, my second wife, actually, and that was it for me too. And then I've been with Laura for a long time, longer than I think any of the rest of them, practically. But my second wife was from the Ukraine, from Odessa, but she was Russian. She actually identified as Russian and spoke Russian, rather than Ukrainian, which is a Russian dialect kind of way. So, but they're different. Lisitsa and her husband, he's also a concert artist, immigrated to the United States, and they were based in North Carolina, somewhere down there. Yeah, and she would put up videos of herself that would end up on YouTube and stuff, and then people would watch. Yeah. She's incredibly well trained, and she reminded people of the old school of Russian playing. Yeah, because it was not a Soviet sound so much, but a big, warm sound. And the girl had fingers when she played Rachmaninoff preludes and stuff. She could do it all. Yeah, and it was very interesting because her career, as you said, developed by people knowing her in social media. Yeah. And then she started to get hired to do performances with orchestras. Yeah. I think she got a teaching job at some point too.
She did. She had an older brother that played. And he died.
But now she's living in Russia, and sadly, she is very sympathetic to Vladimir Putin and the Russian cause as it's going on presently. And therefore, she's become quite a persona non grata in the West because of her allegiance to Putin, which is too bad. Yeah. Because she's a very original and amazing talent.
Oh, yeah. Okay, last one. This is just for fun. I found this, but it's Nora, the piano cat. This is the one, the video that has the cat Sherdo that you once sent me a link to.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Oh, that's cute.
So all you cat lovers, there is a DVD out. This Nora, the piano cat.
Oh, so. See, there's some YouTube stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. This cat has a video called Cat Sherdo. And it's basically a video on movie screen with Nora the cat just sort of pawing at the keys, but she's accompanied by an orchestra live on stage. Cool. So it's kind of cute. I haven't watched it. So, well,
my turn.
I took up a lot of time.
No, it's all right. So I got some Thrifter things. Just a couple. I actually got some stuff recently, and I'm going to share it little bits at a time with you guys, different shows. But the two that I wanted to look at right now are lady pianists. This set I'm going to do second.
Okay.
But first of all, I wanted to show you. I didn't even know I bought this way. I thought it was a CD. I thought it was a CD. And then it arrived in a big oversized package. And so I thought, oh, it's got like 2 CDs and they put them with cardboard. No, I opened it up and it's 2 LPs. And I don't know exactly the year on this because there's not a year anywhere. But look at the picture.
Oh, my.
So this must be the second time that she came, because she came twice to the States. There was one, I think, in early 60s or late 50s, something like that, mid 50s. And then this was 65, perhaps. And it's, isn't it Epic? Yeah, Epic Stereo. But this is all Granado stuff. And it's, of course, Alicia de Larrocha. And you can show them. Okay. But show them this and, and that.
Here, let me show it this way. Okay. Here's the cover. Beautiful cover.
The records are in really good condition.
On the inside.
They look very clean for LPs from that period. Oh my gosh.
Epic Stereo.
Want to show them this back side of it? So they put the notes inside the front and the back.
So here's the box. record notes. Wow.
I saw her 2 or 3 times in live performance. One time was at the University of Colorado. At the big auditorium, I forget the name of it now. I'll put it up on the screen, maybe a picture of it. Wonderful, huge building in the grand style. Big, beautiful arch and everything. I've seen some wonderful performances there in Boulder, and fabulously, she played the Defia.
Defia?
Yeah, the Knights in the Gardens of Spain.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
So wonderful. She's a little tiny lady, you
Yeah.
know?
Tiny
Was she
lady.
like 5'2" at best?
5?
Maybe something like that.
I'm thinking, yeah, about that's probably right.
So,
And if you ever listen to Ritual Fire Dance, listen to her rendition of it.
versus
Listen to her.
Rubinstein.
Yeah, that uncanny thing where she does at the beginning
Yeah,
with the trill and getting the bass notes.
yeah.
Bum, dun, 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 dun. And she still has the trill going on
Yeah.
on the left hand. Amazing.
It's actually more impressive than what Rubinstein did.
Yeah. The only other pianist I've heard do that was Julius Kitch'n.
Wow.
The only other one. He does exactly the same thing.
I really love the woman. There's some good stories I think we probably told about.
And she is so modest.
Yes.
She's so modest. She meets Horowitz backstage, and she bows down to the guy. You know, oh gosh! And she was so, and she's even met Earl Wild. You know, Earl Wild. I mean, she was even modest with him.
Yeah. She was a very soft-spoken lady. But a good sense of humor, I remember.
Oh yeah.
And there's some stories about her. You know, she goes back. Her teacher was Frank Marshall, who studied with Granados. And so she has a direct link there, and it's really quite famous for playing his music, which is that recording is his primary stuff. But she's a girl, she's a child prodigy, and she came up from a decent family, as I understand, and the piano was in one of the rooms in the house with these French doors, you know, that would open to it. Well, her mom and dad thought, you know, for her age and everything, is like 6 years old or something like that, 7 years old. She should go out and play for a while.
Yeah.
You know, get some sunlight and go out and play with other kids and have some fun outside. And the only way they could do it was they locked the doors to the piano room, to the music room. And she didn't go out. Instead, she stood there and she banged her forehead against the door, wanting to get in to play her piano to the point where she drew blood.
Oh God!
And talk about dry, you know. And she was so tiny, you measure her hands. The thing that really astonished me about this woman, as you heard me say sometimes, and people might say, "Oh, he's just a sissy," and I was like, "Nah, I have managed to get through my career since I studied with Ellsworth without any physical injuries."
Yeah.
And Ellsworth is very specific about playing in ways and doing things that does not stress or harm the mechanism, right? So what I'm getting at is Schumann. There's some Schumann stuff that is stretchy and a bit hard to maneuver through. Some things and some of the pieces, to be honest, I don't really like the Abbe variations. I don't know. There's a blood.
Oh God, Mark!
The Abbe variation, come on. Come on, when you stack
It's
it
an
up,
open swat.
when you stack it up to the fantasy or you know, certain things, even David's put, you know, for example. But and then the Carnival's got some difficult moments in it, right? Some hard stuff. She plays all that stuff.
Yeah, she
and,
does.
you know, with hands that aren't even as big as mine, I think. You know?
Yeah, she has recordings that of the Cacciatore concerto. She recorded the Cacciatore.
Yeah.
She even recorded the third Rachmaninoff concerto.
Yeah.
And so,
Wow.
but she does cut a few corners.
And I do.
I think the
really?
size of her hands.
Good for her.
You know, so
I do remember a somewhat semi-tragic story. I think it was when she accepted a teaching position at Juilliard, New York, and she'd raised her family in Spain. I think they were in Barcelona, because I think she was Catalan. But anyway, she's moving her residence to New York, and so she sent her library to New York City. And the boat that it was on, or something happened. The boat sank. But I had this happen when I sent my music from Japan back to the United States, my music library. I got almost all of it, but the boxes containing my choral library, my collection of choral music, which was pretty substantial at that time, and I've never built it back up since it's that big. I had 150 or 200 or more compositions, single, things in there. Is gone, disappeared. This happened with her piano library.
Wow.
And what she really bemoaned was when she finally found out that the music was lost and she was going to get it, her first thing she said was, "Oh my God, all those fingerings." We understand that as pianists.
Oh, yeah,
you work out that stuff and you write the fingerings in and everything. Quarter of a century, perhaps, of fingerings.
Totally.
So, God love her, but she is one of my favorite pianists.
Oh, yeah, I love mine too.
Love her playing, and so much temperament and mastery in the way she plays things. And then I especially listen to her in the Spanish repertoire, because I think she plays it so well. Okay, then the other one I want to talk about is another lady pianist. And I wanted to show you first. I met her first in this, this is a really wonderful sine qua non recording. I bought it probably, actually I either got this at Camelot or through Murray Hill Records possibly. I used to buy from online. This is a European collection of Mozart concerti. You can show them. But look at all that, make sure they can see the different artists.
Sure.
Because it's different concerti, all these different artists. Central European, Bohemian, Austrian pianists.
Wow.
And they're really good performances. There's Walter Klein, Alfred Brendel, so forth. Eschenbach is in there.
The names.
And the one at the bottom is Ingrid Hebler. Her name is pronounced Hebler.
Hebler.
So, let me show you the next thing. So, I have a few other records with her in there, and some of it's chamber music. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I moved to Japan in, what was it, 96, right? Yeah, in the summer. And a friend of ours told us about a concert later that year in Osaka at Izumi Hall. Here's the program.
Oh.
Ticket.
Oh!
It's all in Japanese.
Oh, man.
But it was in November, I think, and it was a Schubert concert. And I even wrote in my own handwriting what she did for encores at the end of the concert.
Oh.
But this was part of Vienna Festival that went from the end of October until almost the end of November. So, and Japan has a tendency to do it that way. They're out there at that other end of the world, and they love really great culture, and they have the money and the appreciation for it, they pay for it. So they bring over these artists and people and, arrange for them to do concerts in certain areas. They live there, they put them up in extremely nice ways and pay them extremely well. I remember they used to pay me for concerts. They put the money in fresh bills that they sometimes would iron.
Wow.
And they put it in a specially folded paper envelope like old Japanese do.
Wow.
And they give it to you before you go on, which is nice. It's depending on traditions in different places. Like some places I played in Europe, they pay you at intermission. Because they wanted to at least get half of the recital. Make sure you're going to play. And then there were infamously, sometimes I think Rubinstein talks about that, where there were a few people that they get their money at intermission. I forget, there was a famous guy, pianist in Italy, and he went out and gambled afterwards and stuff.
Oh!
He got sick for the second half and disappeared, and somebody saw him out in the streets later, drinking and gambling and stuff like that. He got paid, so screw him, I'm going to play the other half.
That's awful.
No, but, and then I picked up this book, see this?
Oh, my. Wow.
And you could show that to him, because that's got real pictures and stuff.
Wow.
But this was in 96, which was about I think 10 years before she died or so, maybe something like that. I forget the actual dates. But, and she's an older lady, you can tell by the picture there. But I remember the concert I listened to her play was all Schubert. And this is a listing of 2 of the recitals that she's playing on tour while she's in Japan. And those are Mozart programs that she's doing. So she was, as I understand, she was born in Vienna, and then when her family moved from there, they moved to Poland. And she spent time, probably, I think it was in Warsaw, with her family. But then at the beginning of the Second World War, when the Nazis attacked, they moved to Salzburg, where that was her home for the remainder of her whole life. She went back there, but she studied with some people in the Mozart Academy in Salzburg, and then at the Vienna Conservatory as well. I think she was in France as well, and studied with people. Anyway, she was a very interesting woman because I discovered in reading about it that some of her recordings are historically considered the best examples, period. And so she did 1 or 2, I think there was very specifically, and it's in here in the 60s, the complete Mozart sonatas. Wow. Last time I ever heard anybody rave about the particular interpretation of the sonatas and the playing of them is Maria, how do you say Perez?
Pariah?
No,
Peres.
Peres, the Portuguese.
Joao Peres.
Yeah, or she's not Portuguese. She's yes.
Yeah, I
Where's she
think it's
from?
Portuguese. Is she Portuguese? Peres.
She's from Argentina. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Maria, or it's
Joao,
either her or
Joao.
Tipo.
No. The little lady who's retired twice.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Peres.
Because I have her complete Mozarts, and they are wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing that also attracted me to her, well, this is 58 CDs. And as far as I know, it's a pretty damn complete collection of things. It's got, for example, the complete sonata. It's got I don't know if it's complete. It looks like it could be most of the Mozart Concerti. Interestingly, some Bach. Oh, J.C. Bach. Christian Bach, the London Bach, and she records all the stuff on forte piano. She's interesting because she was one of these pianists. Like, I have a really cool recording of Walter Klein and Christoph Eschenbach playing forte piano stuff. And she was one of the people that got into this early on, before it really was a movement. And so all the J.C. Bach stuff was recorded on the forte piano. But the thing that really attracted me, there are the complete Beethoven and the complete Mozart sonatas for violin and keyboard. Wow. And she plays them with Henryk Szeryng.
Oh my.
They were great teammates, and Henryk Szeryng, I don't know exactly what it is, because I admire any great violinist, I'd say some of them. I love Fritz Kreisler's warmth and spontaneity. Of course, Heifetz, how can you not appreciate Heifetz's genius,
But
what's that?
But
Menuhin, yeah. Yodi Menuhin, especially when he's younger, it was just, even when he's older, just this very straight up, the spine classical
very
form.
elegant.
Very elegant, beautiful sound he got. But then there was later people like, it's weird as she played and everything. I love nowadays Salerno Sonnenberg. Incredible artist.
Yeah, which, by the way,
Shlomo Mintz, who we featured
Cecile
recently.
Lecade was her accompanist for a while.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for a number of years.
And who couldn't like Hummel? He was amazing. I remember his playing too. What is it about Henryk Szeryng that just reaches? And I love Milstein's playing too, especially his Bach is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But Henryk Szeryng just really gets to me, and I love the recordings of the Brahms violin sonatas with Rubinstein. It's probably my favorite of anybody's. Is Rubinstein and Szeryng playing the Brahms. Well, he did all the Beethoven and the Mozart, and he does the 3 Schubert sonatinas with his poem here. So this is it. It has a booklet in it as well.
Wow. Oh gosh, it feels heavy.
But the price came down, and so I decided to buy it. I'm doing a little bit on payments, but It used to be like over 150 or 160 bucks, but I got it now for basically a little over $2 a CD. So there's practically 60 of them in there, and I paid
60 CDs.
about that for it.
Wow.
There's some great pianos. I really like that, but I haven't had a chance to listen to it because I've only had it for a day or two, and I just lifted off the box and looked at it a little bit. It's one of these kind that has the recreation of the
Oh, the jackets.
art on the jacket. Yeah. I also like some old Clara Haskell recordings. Remember her? Some Bruno Walter and her playing Mozart.
Yeah.
It's really quite nice. She was what's his face's teacher, wasn't she? The guy that died of cancer. Who was that pianist? He was super famous, but he died young because of cancer.
Dino Lipati?
Dino Lipati, yeah.
Yeah,
Did he study with Haskell?
I don't know.
There's some kind of connection there. Isn't there?
Yeah.
And Lily
Dino Lipati
I like
spent most of his time with Nadia Boulanger.
how's that? But I also like Lily Krauss. She's quite a great pianist. And a few of them. Come on. What's her name? The deaconess of pianists nowadays. She's old but still playing. I heard her play the Profi. I think that was well.
What's she?
You know, the Argentine pianist.
Oh, Archbridge?
Yeah, Martha. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then I love Maria Joao Peres.
Yes. Yeah.
Love her as well. Some extraordinary ones. And then, whoa, what about Guiomar?
Guiomar Novaes. Oh.
Way back then?
Yeah.
There's some really great ones. And then I don't remember her name now, but that.
Yeah. She was married to Octavio Pinto.
Octavio Pinto?
Octavio
Yeah.
Pinto. Yeah.
And then, remember?
She has a sense of humor. There's a story about her where she was, I don't
Guiomar.
know which piece she was playing, Guiomar, where she was playing something where she was supposed to make these leaps from here to here on her left hand, and she misses one of the notes, and she sticks out her tongue at the root key.
Good for her. I heard her one time, first time I ever heard Guiomar Novaes, it was a music store in Springfield called Snap's Piano and Organ. My dad was nuts for organs, and it took me a long ways to stuff. That was one of the places to go for pianos in Springfield. And there was a guy that was there, and they knew I was studying piano and stuff, and he said, "Here, I want you to hear some great piano." And he put this record on, and it was her Carnegie Hall debut recital, and it was the Mendelssohn Variations and Serios.
Oh,
The serious variations of Felix Mendelssohn.
is that what she opened with?
I don't know if she opened with it, but that's what he played for me. And I remember just being so fascinated by the piece. I just thought it was incredible.
Yeah, her Mendelssohn was wonderful.
And it was really an amazing, the muscular performance, you know, it was really incredible. A lot of great South American pianists that came up by way of Europe. And Claudio Rao, one of the earliest ones, studied with Frederick Lambert, student of Franz Liszt. And
Nelson Friere.
So,
Marco Pizarro.
so that's my thrifty thing.
Wow.
Now, we want to shift to the new one, the next section.
Oh! Yeah.
So can you talk for a little while?
Okay. Well,
About
when do you want me to talk about the, when do you want me to introduce the segment?
Not yet. When I come back.
Oh, okay.
You'll see it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I did find one more thing while I was at the book sale. I found this.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Take a good look at it. It's a Franz Liszt book.
Oh! By
Derek Watson.
Yep, I know that one. I don't think I have it though.
Derek Watson. Handsome book. It actually reads quite fast. At least that's what I'm told. This is by far one of the best books on the great Hungarian composer, pianist, just about everything. I remember years ago speaking with Leslie Howard. We were talking about different biographies about Franz Liszt, and he pointed out this one. This is the one that he cited, Derek Watson. He says it's well written, it's put together quite well. Wow, I didn't know this, but in the back of this, the book cover, there's a manuscript score at the back. It is a postscript to a letter dated July 18th, 1861 from Franz Liszt to his copyist Alfred Dorfel, discussing the closing section of a Faust symphony. So this is from the Faust Symphony, from the collection of Robert David MacDonald. Interesting. That's what that is. Closing page? Really? Yeah, closing section of a Faust Symphony. Huh. Wow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 measures. 13 measures. Wow. Interesting. So, folks, I hope you've enjoyed our show today. There's more yet to come. I don't know. I'll have to discuss it with Marc sometime. I've had a few ideas about possible segments to our future episodes. I can't remember what was the last one. I think it was the one episode that had the segment called "Coming Back for More." Marc, you remember that one?
Coming back for more?
PSI's Coming Back for More.
Yeah, did we do it one already that way?
I don't know.
Or did we talk about it?
We talked about, I think we talked about it like a couple episodes ago or something.
I thought it was very suggestive.
It was the one when I brought in that.
Very suggestive title.
Yeah, I know. You said you were going to come up with something with that. I brought in that book by Jerome Lowenthal, the famous Encores. Remember? It was famous Encores. Okay, I mean it was a book this thick, that thick, and it had an essay at the beginning, 3 or 4 page essay at the beginning by Jerome Lowenthal, and or was it Raymond? I think it was Raymond Lowenthal. No, Jerome. I think Jerome sounds right. Jerome. But anyways, it was a really good episode. And okay. Well, folks, I guess we have a very anxious my anxious co-host here. For all those who who watched our episode last time, we welcome you back to PSI's Witching Kitchen.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. We're going to show it to you. You all right?
Yeah.
Are you want me to? I'll show it to you. Okay. No. So, I made a possible Thanksgiving dish. Actually, my lovely partner and sous chef, that's not fair to say, she's a master chef in her own. This is a possible other alternative Thanksgiving side dish called baked hominy with cheese. I love hominy. Do you know what hominy is? Hominy?
Is it grits?
Well, it can be made into grits, which is when you grind it, do all that stuff.
Okay.
Hominy is corn, and it's boiled in lye, and it poofs up really big, and then they put it in water and salt if they can, and then you pour all that up. Now, the way I learned to do it with my grandmother originally was most people don't know how to make hominy. Now, for example, the Mexicans make a dish called pozole. You know pozole? Hominy soup, which in and of itself I've had actually when I lived in Tucson. It's good. But most people didn't grow up with this stuff. They don't know how to prepare it right. Because it's like one of those things like say that there is an organization in Central Ohio which prepares sauerkraut in the uninformed and not properly understood way,
Okay.
where some people will do this. The reason that people don't like sauerkraut is because they take the can and they pour into a pot and warm it up,
Yeah.
and then you're supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
No.
No?
The liquid, you got to pour it off. The liquid is meant to keep the sauerkraut fresh,
Okay.
you know, and kind of tasty as it might
Right.
get. But it's basically salt and water. But in and of itself, the kraut, no. You pour off the water, pour it all off, and then you rinse it a little bit in cold water.
Okay.
Then, the way that the Germans do it, you put it in a skillet
Okay.
and you fry it
Okay.
in some oil, all right? And some people might add juniper berries to it,
Okay.
or I forget what maybe cloves, possibly, but certain different things like that. And if you make red cabbage, we cook it from red cabbage. And then I learned a secret from a chef guy in our choir. In many cases, you make red cabbage with chopped apples. He makes red cabbage with applesauce.
Ooh!
Wow, it's really, really good. Okay, so
Sounds intriguing.
hominy is one of those gifts from the Indians, both North America, Central America. I don't know how far down America they made it. Is corn in South America as well?
I think so.
Okay, so it's from the Americas. But the way to do it is they boil it. And I've heard that it's boiled in lye. I don't know what that is. It won't kill you or nothing. Because, you know, there's that Norwegian lutefisk, which is also prepared in water and lye. I think the lye is used to break down the
What's lye?
texture. I don't know, but it can kill you if you have it in and of itself. But if you use a little bit of it itself, I think it breaks down fibers. All right.
Wow.
If you have pure lye, to seriously break down your fibers. Please go ahead and eat.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, it's hot. But because I want to talk a little bit about where it comes from. But I learned to make hominy from Grandma. And Grandma would take the hominy, open the can, pour off all the liquid, and then rinse it. She'd just leave it in the can after she poured out all the liquid, rinse it in cold water, and then pour that out. And then she'd put she always had, I've talked about this before, a coffee can full of bacon grease. Anything she ever cooked, whatever it was always cooked in that grease that just built up in this coffee can, one meal after another for decades.
Wow.
She had this coffee can full of bacon drippings and grease and stuff that she
That's what you would fry the...
everything.
Wow.
Everything that she made fried was from that grease in
This
the
is
coffee
good.
can. Now, we don't have that. I think we used a combination of olive oil and butter to kind of get it going. But she put just a little bit of grease in there, and then she dry fry the hominy so that it really got kind of sticky on the bottom of the cast iron pan. And she'd throw actually some chopped bacon into it and some salt and pepper.
Wow.
That was the hominy the way she made it. For me, when we got married to Robin and all that stuff, we were kind of vegetarian, so I didn't use the bacon. But I used some butter and some oil, and then my thing was I'd chop up onions and put that in it, and then eventually I liked garlic in it too. Not so much the pepper, not strong. I don't like when people put a ton of black pepper and stuff. I think it's one of those situations where you're just trying to cover up the fact you got bad quality ingredients, and you're trying to cover it up with spices.
This is really good. So did you get this out of a book?
Yep, and I want to tell you about that.
Okay.
So this is the Witch and Kitchen thing. And I will come back to this guy again, because there's one book in particular I brought it from, but I want to show him that book.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, The Frugal Gourmet, Jeff Smith. I love this book because there's a letter from the mother of my two piano students when I was in Yellow Springs. All I had was a bachelor's degree, and I was living in Yellow Springs. And I taught some piano lessons to some people. These are my two girls that I taught. And the mom's name was Nancy. And they would drive in from somewhere outside of Springfield come down to Yellow Springs, and they took lessons with me. She would sit there and read or knit or crochet or something while they were taking their lessons. And they were wonderful people. The girls were very, good enough, and they weren't always prepared. And they're a sweet family, and I taught them, I think, for a year and a half or 2 years. And then I took off that summer of '86 to go to Madison and get my master's degree. So she wrote, on May 23rd, 1986, Marc, memories of lessons in your living room will linger with the girls and myself all our lives.
Wow.
Your lessons on piano and strong commitments in life have certainly inspired us. We've watched you grow as a teacher in patience and understanding. Much more so now than even back then. I am grateful that the girls were a part of that. I'm sure you've influenced their lives. We'll miss you and wish for you all that you want out of life. Please keep in touch, which I didn't do so well, for we hope that our paths will cross again. So I'm going to try to reach out to her. Much love, Nancy and family. So I'm putting this out there. Her name is Nancy Troutwine. And I looked up Nancy Troutwine, and there is a Nancy Troutwine alive in Springfield, out on the county road. I'm going to try to see if I can get a hold of her and see if that's Nancy.
Okay.
She wasn't that much older than me, maybe 10 years at most. I don't even think she's that old. Maybe 8 years older than me, possibly, something like that. But she's old enough to have a couple girls and all that. But
Sure.
I wanted to talk to them about this.
Okay.
This is the book that it's from, but just about him. Because we didn't have TV in Yellow Springs. We just didn't have one because we were Yellow Springs people. And anybody down there will understand from that period of time back in the 80s what we meant. But Nancy gave me that book because she knew that we were really into cooking well. And at that time, we made everything from scratch, and I learned how to bake bread and do things like that. But then we moved up to Madison, and I was playing for a baritone, doctoral baritone, actually. And he had inherited some money from his father. He was doing quite well at that time in his life financially then. And his father had been a businessman. And had died, I think, a little prematurely. But Kevin, I was with him, and we were out at one of these big stores that have TVs and stereos, all kinds of things like that. And I saw this cute little yellow television, little 13-inch, and I just loved the color. And it was one you could pick up like that and carry anything. Only 13 inches. And I said, man, I would really like to get this, but it was, I don't know, $150 or something like that, 100 something. I didn't have the cash on it. And Kevin said, well, I'll get it for you. We'll do it in trade, I'll get the TV for you, and then you play for me, and you make it up by the rehearsals that we do together.
Wow.
So I went home with the TV and turned it on, plugged it in. We didn't have cable. I think I got a little antenna to make the signal stronger, but back in those days, there was cable, but you could still watch TV without it.
Yeah.
So you could get the major 3 channels, right? NBC, CBS, and PBS. Yeah. And it was quite accidental one night on a Saturday after 10:30 I had TV on. I saw this strange show with these people with these uniforms on, and they were in Paris. But there's a spaceship and everything, and then it said Star Trek. And I opened the bedroom door and I said, "Oh my God! I think they're doing a new Star Trek series." It was Star Trek: The Next Generation. And it was one of these, I think, first-year episodes where Picard and the doctor lady meet in Paris on the ship. It recreates Paris, We became addicted forever to that show.
Yeah.
I mean, we had no Saturday night life because we had to be home by 10:30 to watch Star Trek for years. We watched that into the first year of the doctorate. We moved to Boulder, because I think it lasted 7 or 8 years. It was terrible, but the other show that I watched was because of the book that Nancy given me. She thought I would like it because I was kind of into the cooking, and I made all our own bread. For Christmas time, I would make yeast breads and sweet breads, quick breads as such, and I even made our own jams and jellies,
Wow.
and would give them away as Christmas presents. I was quite the farmer and gardener and house maker. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it, and I had some time to do it.
Domestic engineer.
I was very
Add
much.
to your roster.
And then I started watching Jeff's shows, and I've since been able to find a bunch of them on YouTube.
Mm.
So this guy and his book and everything was a huge inspiration to me because I loved his straightforwardness and kind of naturalness. He was an ordained Methodist minister and loved cooking and all this kind of stuff. And he was just a very approachable kind of person, had a good sense of humor and all this. And he did a bunch of different shows for a long period of time. And I know that some stuff happened later on. A little bit of stuff was a little controversial, and then he died. I wouldn't say prematurely, but by the time when he'd started this show, he'd already had a valve replacement for his heart, and that's part of what affected his cooking. He didn't do like the super low fat, no salt kind of stuff, but he did advise you to be cautious and thoughtful about the way you cook. But in this very first book, The Frugal Gourmet that I got from Nancy, he talks about knives and kitchenware and how to do stuff. And he explained the word frugal. Doesn't mean cheap. It just means that what you have, you use it well and as completely as possible. But there should be a lot of passion and love and joy in your cooking when you do. So as it happens, in West Madison, there's a kind of nice area over there, and there was a little bit of commercial area in the street, but I was going specifically to see the gallery showing of a new friend who was an artist. At the time, she was just a new person I met. But I said we'd come and look at her stuff. And I bought no, that's not it. It's out there. Her name was Nancy Giffey. And I bought a painting. Actually, it's a multimedia kind of creation of painting that I bought from her. She's a wonderful artist. And her husband, David Giffey, was a famous, his art was doing restorative work and then special creative work using Byzantine iconography as stuff. So, for example, the huge Byzantine church in Madison, he completely redid the entire interior because at some point in his life, he was a very interesting guy. He'd been in the Vietnam War, done this and that, very philosophical man, this and that. But at some point, he had lived with monks in Greece who were part of the Orthodox faith, and he became a practitioner in faith. He looked like one with the beard and everything. But the Byzantine church in Madison, inside, is a total result of the restorative work done by David Giffey. And it's something. I can see if I can draw some pictures off the web and show you what I'm talking about. But then really cool what he did, he was a nutty basketball fan for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, wow.
And he did iconographic recreations of all the chief players on the team at the time. So it was like 5 of them. There might have been a few more than 5. But they were really tall. They were like 8 feet instead of 6 or 7 feet tall. These really big things. And they had the kind of like that 2-dimensional Byzantine with the eyes and all that kind of look. But they were basketball players with their outfits on and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it was Nancy's show that I went to see. And I was on next door, the other down. It was a kind of a gallery, and there's a little commercial space in the neighborhood, and there was a kitchen supply place. And I went in there, and I bought my first Henckels knives.
Oh, wow.
I bought my first Calphalon pan. I put a collection of them down. Calphalon anodized aluminum. So it's aluminum, which is amazing stuff, but it doesn't interact with the food because they put the metal at some point in water and run electricity through it, and it anodizes the materials, so it creates a seal around it. But those are expensive, man. I paid anywhere from over $100 to $300 a pan.
Wow.
I had $1,000 worth of pans at some point.
Wow.
That's what we used for a long time. But Jeff was this huge influence on me. I loved it because he uses, I think it's a theme from Fireworks or Water Music of Hummel. I just loved everything about it. And Madison is one of my favorite places to have lived and to have learned. Howard Karp was my teacher.
Wow.
I was kind of being raised up out of being a West Ohio bumpkin to a somewhat more cultivated person, all right?
Yeah.
I still have this bumpkin part of myself that I treasure, my background.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had a huge influence on me. And I realized then when I was looking through that book and seeing, like, what's the next book I'm going to do, I thought, this is the guy who stimulated me to really think seriously about cooking, I mean, I never thought I would leave music or anything like that, but I always wondered what it would be like to be a chef, And I thought about that kind of level of, and I'm not, but I admired it very much. So much so that, like I said the last time, I think that I counted 234 actual books in my collection. Some of them are huge, some of them are a little smaller, but and there's a variety of things as you'll see over time. But more recently, before I show them this one, okay, this is a Frugal Gourmet Cooks American, and that's what this recipe is from.
This one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now we did it a little differently, so I'm going to do the thing. I'll put the recipe up on the page, so you can see it with the directions how to make it. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think this would be very appropriate for Thanksgiving.
Sure is. Most definitely.
It's a corn dish, a little alternate to yellow corn kind of stuff, but
gosh, he's even holding a live turkey.
Yeah. So you saw the Frugal Gourmet, his original book, and then this is a Cooks American. Actually, there is a book out there that's available, at least as a paperbacky kind of thing, which is original recipes from his first show in Tacoma. I won't show them these. And there are more than this available, but I found these from Thrift Books. I talked about the last time.
Wow.
And I got all of them. One of them I got for free. So I think I paid less than $20 for them.
Wow, this is a lot of books.
Bunch of them. But show them the titles. You can lay them down on the sofa or next to you on the left if you want to. That's the one that I've been studying right now and making notes about recipes that
You're
I like
okay
to look
over here.
at. Yeah, right there. All right. That's the one. And which is the next one? Is that the three cuisines?
The Frugal Cooks 3 Ancient Cuisines.
Chinese, Roman, and I forgot what's the other one. Greek. That was a very interesting series.
Wow.
And then I got two newer ones. Because he always stressed family was very important. Oh, is that the Italian one, though, I think? Yeah. That's a great book. That's the Italian recipes.
And this is the whole family cookbook.
Yeah. So those are kinds of family-friendly recipes with favorite things that people in a family would enjoy. That kind of focus. So I wanted to share that today. So my tribute to Jeff Smith, Frugal Gourmet, unfortunately who passed away in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, I think he died in his sleep. And to Nancy Troutwhite, who gave me the first book, which really, I was already cooking and baking and stuff at that point, but this brought me up to a new level of trying to accomplish things, really bring a more cultivated approach. And this was me in the Wayback Machine, looking at my teachers, my influences, stuff like that.
Talk about.
And here I am now, an obvious, happily fed fellow who enjoys food, obviously very much.
Oh yeah, we both do. Hey. Oh, excellent, Mark.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Is that it for the show today?
I don't know.
I don't have anything else that I want to talk about.
I would not know either.
So we might just go out eating here, folks.
Yeah. So
So did you like what we did today? We shared a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh, really interesting, Uncle Mark. Really interesting. Thank you, Uncle Elmer.
Oh, you're very welcome, boys. So if you like our show today or enjoy our company and our material.
We like our food.
Oh, our food?
Well, it's not ours.
Yeah, it's not ours, it's theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe to our show. Tell your friends and neighbors and co-workers all about us. Okay, I'm sure they'd like to share in the goodwill and everything else. But come back again so you can find out more about what we're reading and listening to and what we're playing. You know? Like I said, we have some other ideas that are coming up. I'm gonna have to talk to my buddy here.
Yeah.
Come back again, okay? Meanwhile, remember who we are. This is
I'm Mark, and this
I'm
is
Elmer, and
we are Mark and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigation. Say bye, boys.
Goodbye! See you, everybody.
Bye bye.
That was good.
Yeah.